Hi, good morning. In this example, we will show you how we can connect a external SQL database into SharePoint. So to begin, let's start by having a subsite, and in this subsite is a blank subsite, and we will pull in Webparts360. So Webparts360, as you know, is an application development platform which will allow you to build a system. So this will help us to connect to a SQL database. Okay, so we come in here, we build our solution area, and we press create to create this system. Once you have connected, now we can set up as many the connection as we want to external data sources. So by default, it will have our own database to store its definition, but we can always come in and connect. So let's say for this example, we will connect to Northwind. So in this example, it will be a SQL DB, and we're going to connect to the table called Northwind. So once we know where our solution is, we can always test it, and if it's great, we can go in and we can build the system, and that would have given us a connection to Northwind. Now once we go into Northwind, there are many things we can do. We can, for instance, come in and build a direct data source connecting to Northwind, and that means all the information that you see within Northwind becomes part of it. Like for example, the orders tables, the suppliers data tables, they're all part and parcel of the solution. In fact, the system can also access other things like views, so you can store all the views that you want, or you can even pull in any stored procedure that they already are available. Okay, so this is directly available from their environment. But what if we wanted to connect their data to be part and parcel of SharePoint? To do that, we will use our custom list, and we can link an external table. So in an external table, we just define our connection, which is Northwind, and build up. Let's say we want to search for a customer table. Then we can just generate a link and say, okay, we will just connect to their respective table, and suddenly we will have this table inside SharePoint that looks as if it's a customer list, but essentially the data is coming from SharePoint. So it's coming back from the SQL database. So using our report web part, you can now quickly build a quick search customer search function. So to build our customer search function, we can quickly come in and say we want to select our customer, okay, and we can add the fields we want to put our search key for. For example, I want to search using the company name, so I'm going to put and say it's going to be similar to a keyword that I type in, or it will be similar to an account that I put in, or I can say I want it to be any other fields. Let's say, for example, the contact name, okay, and that will give me a good measure of this search capability. Now I can just come in and detect how my list looks like. I'm going to have a search function, and I want to make sure that I can have a button that says search whenever I find that. Next, I determine how I want the search result to come out. So for example, I want to see a company name, I probably want to see the company ID, yeah. I want to see the contact person, the title, and etc. City, maybe I want the phone, yeah, or the fax. And with that, I can quickly search, save this. I save this web part, and I'll just add it to a page. Let's say we just add it to our default search page, put it in the header section, and say search for customer. And we will put in the title, and it will go in and voila. So when we look into this search function now, we will see that we can be able to search. So if we just type and say A, we will be able to find all the company that have A. Let's say for example AN, and now we have all the AN companies. So that gives us a very powerful way of looking at that. So that gives you that very quick search capability, and you can bring it up as big as you want and go into the last page, right? So very powerful. At the same time, say for example, if you want to come in and we want to give it an ability to do a export to Excel, we can just fire up the menu and says let's go in and do a export to Excel, right? And that gives us the ability to save that, yeah. And with that, I will be able to come in, search for Anna, and do a export to Excel, and that would allow me to get the whole list into my Excel, and the entire list, all the company with AN in this name will be part and parcel of this list. That's it. Quick and easy. And that's how SharePoint is made easy with Webparts360. Similarly, if we want to build a report, we can quickly go into the data source and pull out, retrieve one of these reports. So let's come in and check out the view, and we will find that there's a category sales for 1997, and that is particularly the list. We can quickly come in and say this is sales analysis. So we save this data source. It's a sales analysis. We have a data source. We can go into a report and build a new report called sales analysis. We now connect back to the list that we've actually done, the data source, which is a sales analysis. We can of course preview the data and quickly see how fast the data comes in, and once that is available, we can now build a chart that allows us to pull the data from the data source, and we will just use the category name and pull it out in a column format and put is the sales value. So putting the sales value, when we are done, we can even specify the size and say it's going to be 400 pixel high. We will save this, and with that we can easily add it to a page. We will add it to a new page, and which we can create right on the fly. We'll call it a reports page, and save that, and we will put that into our header, and that is our sales analysis, and that becomes a title. Save that, and now we can quickly take a look, and voila, we have the sales analysis with all the data that we want. Quick and easy.